In today's video, we're going to show you 14 frugal living tips from the Great Depression that still work today. Number 1, use layers to stay warm. During the Great Depression, many people were left without jobs and without homes, but if somebody was lucky enough to have a home, it may have not been heated. So, people adopted the frugal habit of using layers to keep warm. This is a great frugal tip that can help you save lots of money during the cold winter months and also make use of clothes that may just be sitting in your closet collecting dust. Number 2, make meals from scratch. It's one thing to cook your own food, but it's a whole other thing to cook your food from scratch. During the Great Depression, it was normal to cook from scratch as opposed to getting ready-made items like pasta sauces and frozen meals. Even though you can afford pasta sauces and frozen meals, you can get more bang for your buck by making your own meals from scratch, and also you get the best flavor possible. Number 3, trade for goods and services. Do you have a neighbor who's very good at doing handy things around the house, like maybe fixing plumbing or holes in a wall? Well, a frugal living that was utilized during the Great Depression was to trade for goods and services instead of purchasing them. For example, if the neighbor who's good at repairs really enjoys baked goods, and you just so happen to be a great baker, then trade your baked goods for his services to fix the holes in your drywall. Number 4, make the most out of your old items. If you can count any old items in your home that aren't doing anything, then maybe it's time for them to, give them a new purpose. During the Great Depression, the option was limited, so they ended up learning the frugal living tip of making the most of their old items by trying to repurpose them, and you should learn it too. Number 5, shop at yard sales and thrift stores. Buying at yard sales and thrift shops is still one of the best ways to live a frugal lifestyle, but during the Great Depression, it was really out of necessity, where nowadays it's just a choice to save more money. Regardless of the situation though, taking advantage of yard sales and thrift stores can help you to find much more high valuable items at a much smaller price tag. Number 6, use the entirety of the animal when cooking. When you're cooking a nice pork roast, do you just throw away the trimmed fat and the bone afterwards? Now, you might be surprised to know that people would never throw away either of those animal parts because they still had a lot of good use. For example, using bones from cooked animal parts like chicken breast or pork chops can make some of the most excellent bone broth that you've ever had. Plus, some people also like to save the fat, render it down, and then use it for cooking meals instead of buying oil. Number 7, eat cheaper proteins. While it is true that yes, you can save on meat by making sure you use the entire animal for food, it's still a very pricey product. During the Great Depression, families had managed to feed themselves with much cheaper proteins such as beans and rice. While you probably can't afford a meal every day, you can really grow in frugal living and save money if you lower your meat consumption. Number 8, make your own cleaning products. Why spend on cleaning products when they're so easy to make at home and are much cheaper? During the Great Depression, cleaning products were often made from sample items at home like vinegar, baking soda, and dish soap. These items can go a long way and are extremely effective cleaners to clean just about anything in the house. Number 9, only use much product as you need. While we're on the topic of products, many people are guilty of using more product than they actually need, and the cost really adds up. For example, how much facial cream do you really use? Do you follow the manufacturer's instructions, or do you just use more because you feel like it? Many have the luxury nowadays to use more than what they need, but this is not a luxury that people had during the Great Depression. Number 10, learn basic sewing. When learning DIY projects to save time, you don't need to become an expert. Instead, follow after your grandparents' footsteps during the time of the Great Depression and learn the basics to fix broken items. For example, learning basic sewing to fix holes and tears can help you save a ton of money on having to buy new clothes and keep those old ones that you really love. Number 11, grow a garden. A garden is one of the best ways to save money and to enjoy the freshest crops available. Plus, this was a skill that many utilized during the Great Depression. If you enjoy growing fresh vegetables and saving money, then you need to start your own garden. Number 12, learn the art of food preservation. When you've grown your many vegetables, it can be hard to find a way to use them all. Fortunately, there's several easy ways to preserve food. An old skill that was used during the Great Depression was food preservation, such as pickling, canning, or sun drying. All these methods help make food last as long as possible while saving tons of money. Number 13, buying whole chickens. It may seem like a daunting task to try and carve a chicken, but it's not a difficult one. This was common during the Great Depression because buying whole chickens was often cheaper than buying the individual parts. With one chicken, you not only have the entire carcass to make a delicious bone broth, but you have 2 breasts, 2 thighs, 2 chicken drumsticks, and any other leftover meat that can be used for several dinners. Lastly, number 14, use natural remedies. You don't need to reach for the painkillers to treat a headache for some pains, and neither do you need the cold medicine when you're sick. Instead, you can offer natural remedies to feel better and save money. For example, drinking some honey and tea can help easily speed up recovery and make you feel a lot better much more quickly.